Hi, welcome to the very first day of our 5-week journey. The first day of our journey, we're going to be doing something interesting, and I think it's one of the most important things you can do if you're taking a journey anywhere. The first thing you have to do is kind of figure out where you are. If you've ever been to an amusement park or a theme park or at a zoo, you see there's a menu up there, and on the menu it has a map of everything. And one of the things that you always are looking for in the very beginning is that X, because the X says this is where you are. Because if you didn't have an X there, even though there's a map that you could take this journey on, you really wouldn't know where to start, because to start a journey, you got to figure out where you are, and then from there, plot your course on the direction you want to go. So this is really, this first day that I'm going to work with you on, we're going to figure out what your X is. Where's that spot that you're currently at? And so that once you understand that, then we can start moving you over the next 5 weeks into the direction that you want to go and where you want to go. So the first thing you have to do as the dealership is find your X. Where are you at? Now in your dealership, your X is what we call your break-even point. What do you have to make a day, a week, a month, a quarter, or a year just to break even, just to pay the bills? That's your X. That's the X marks the spot. Now, I have developed a spreadsheet. It's in the toolbox, so you'll have access to it. And this spreadsheet is going to help you determine where your X is at. You're going to need a few things to make this happen. All of them you're going to have access to. The number one thing is you need to know how many days you're open a year. Are you open 250 days, 280 days? So just go back and look at your calendar or look at your software system and say, how many days was I actually open in my store for the last year? Now, if you're brand new and you don't have a whole year in the bag yet, then just say, okay, well, how many days have I been open since I started? So whether you're brand new or you've been in your dealership 10 years, I need you to look at a point in time. And if you've been in business for more than a year, I want you to look at last year. Okay, and if you're just started and you've only been in business maybe 6 months, then for the first 6 months, how many days have you been open? The next thing that I want you to do is get into your income statement or your profit and loss statement. You're going to hear me talk about these a lot as I go through these 5 weeks. So I want you to understand an income statement and a profit or loss statement or profit and loss statement are the exact same thing. They're the exact same thing. When you hear somebody talk about what's your P&L look like, or they're talking about your profit and loss statement. What's your income statement look like? They're talking about your income statement, and that's going to be in your software. It's where it keeps track of how much did you sell, how much did it cost you to sell it, what were your expenses, and what were your profit. That's what we're talking about with an income statement or a profit and loss statement. So I want you to understand, some people get them confused and they're actually the exact same thing. People just call them different things. So again, what I need you to do is go back and say, okay, well, how many days have I been open during this period of time that my income statement or my profit and loss statement is reporting, right? I need to go back and say, okay, what were my sales, right? What were my cost of goods sold? And your cost of goods sold is what you paid the vendor, whoever you bought your whole goods or your parts or things like that for them. And then what were my expenses? Those are the things that you're going to need. If you use the information from your income statement or profit and loss statement and you put it in the spreadsheet, it is going to tell you, right, to the point how much that you need to make on a day, a week, a month, quarter, or a year just to break your dealership even. So that's your first task on the very first day. We've got to figure out where our X is at. Where are we at? On this journey that we're going to go on, what do I need to produce in my dealership on a day, week, month, quarter, or year just to survive, just to turn on the lights and make it happen? That is such a critical part of it. So I want you to get your income statement, profit and loss statement out, follow through on the instructions that I have on it, fill that information out. Let's figure out what your break-even point, where your X is at. And from there, tomorrow, we're going to go on a journey and take that and move on down the road with some of the other numbers we need to look at. We'll see you then.